They will put you at the bottom of the hierarchy because you ultimately let people run all over you, believing that if you're just a good person, they'll treat you better. And that's a lie. And so if other people identify that you're better than them before you identify that, I think they're more willing and excited to abuse you and manipulate you, because in their mind, it's like, oh my God, they don't even see it. Oh my God, they're just going to let me bring them down to my level because I'm insecure in myself. And so admitting that you're better doesn't mean you walk around acting like you're better or treating other people like you're better, but it's more so you becoming aware of what qualities or what blessings or gifts may trigger a feeling of inferiority in other people. It's knowing yourself, knowing your personality, knowing what you have to protect in and of yourself, because if you don't acknowledge it and you don't protect it, other people will drain it out of you.
Beware failing probing. A lot of you guys are experiencing negative treatment from other people because you failed the probing test, okay? You failed. Mel, what test and what the hell is probing? Probing is a search. When people are asking you those interviewee style questions when you just meet them, they're probing you, right? In their mental hierarchy, they're trying to decide where to place you. That's why they're asking you these interviewee style questions. When people encounter you and they size you up and they look at your outfit, if you're wearing a watch, they may look at the watch to see what the brand is. They may try to see what car did you pull up in. They may try to look at your resume and see what college did she go to. Did she go to college? They may try to look on your finger, see, is there a ring on her finger? Is she married? Is he married? Right? People are going to start probing you early on. And based on what they conclude about you, if you are not confident in your positive abilities, if you're not confident in your gifts, if you're not confident in your currency, if you're not confident in your talents, and if you're that guy or that girl and you don't know and you fail the probing test, right? When people probe you and what they're trying to do is they know you have great qualities. They just want to know, do you know you have good qualities? So they're going to check the temperature with certain questions and certain gestures. A good example of this is if you're an orator. If you have the gift of speech, people are always going to try to silence you, right? I had that issue when I was younger because this gift has always been here. And when I would talk, people would immediately feel intimidated by the quality of my speech and the certainty in what I was saying. They would keep cutting me off. And it was their way of saying, can I just cut her off whenever I feel like it? Because what she's saying is making me feel uncomfortable. Now, as an adult, when people do that, I said, excuse me, and I'm almost finished. When I complete my sentence, I will give you an opportunity to interject. Because I could tell right off meeting me, they are trying to punish me for the way I make them feel with my speech by cutting me off. People are very intentional. This is why when a woman comes in and she has her makeup on and she's dressed good and she looks good, here comes you don't need a lot of makeup, right? You don't need to wear a lot of makeup, right? The person probed you. The woman or man probed you. They see how good you look in the makeup. They see how confident you look. You may be really good at makeup, right? And now they're going to test you to see if they can get away with changing the narrative about you. And if you say, you're right, you're probably right, I don't need a lot of makeup, and you come back the next day with no makeup on, you fail the probe, and now they're going to bully you because you don't know what you carry. You're not confident in it, right? They will probe you. Probing. Inquiring closely into something. Searching. Somebody can ask you probing questions. But people can also physically probe you, physically exploring or examining. So let me explain something to you guys. When people meet you, they're going to probe you. The first way that people are going to probe you is physically. When somebody's not sure of themselves, you can see it in their body language. When a man or a woman walks in a room, I can tell if they're sure of themselves or not. Just by the way they walk, the angle that their feet faces, how their posture, how they stand, When they speak, how their eyes look when they talk, I can tell if somebody is sure of themselves. I can read their body language. I can read the energy that they give off. That's why some men and women, when you walk in the room, just like that Pop Smoke song, you shake the room, right? When you walk in the room, you shake the room. Usually people with high confidence levels and very bold body language, when they walk into environments, everybody stops and looks at them. It's like everybody just freezes when this person walks in, because it's the boldness that they carry. It's the self-assurance, the confidence. They shake the room when they walk in. But what many men and women don't understand is people are probing you the minute they meet you. They're reading your body language to look for weakness and uncertainty. Someone can see how uncertain of yourself you are based on your body language, the way that you talk, the way that you stand, and how you advocate for yourself. Okay? A lot of times, you have to distinguish yourself. If you don't resonate or align with my teachings, then my content is not for you. Avoid commenting, subscribing, or interacting. Instead, go to a page where you resonate. If you comment something foul, disrespectful, or like something foul or disrespectful, you will be blocked. I will also block you if you comment any contradictory to my message. I don't post for your agreement, so please think about that before you run and comment, I don't agree. Think about that. It doesn't matter. I post what I am led to post. Your agreement or okay was never needed. I don't need your permission. Let's get into it. From other people very early on to keep them from the reverse psychology, like what this content creator said. So I wouldn't say, for me personally, I wouldn't say like you're better than. That's not the word that I would use. But understanding when you're different from others, I think that's very important, because in an ideal world, people would not degrade you for your positive qualities, right? In an ideal world, people would honor your positive qualities. People would love your positive qualities. People wouldn't feel threatened by your positive qualities in an ideal world. However, we're not living in an ideal world where everybody is confident and everybody is sure of themselves and people have self-actualized. No, that's not the world that we live in. So unfortunately, because of that, you have to show people early on that you know that you're different than them. You have to distinguish you from others, because if not, they're going to flip the script and they're going to put you on the bottom of the list when you should be on the top. People are going to probe you. I, as a woman, have felt like I've dealt with probing more with women than with men. Women lie about competition, right? When women say, oh, I'm not a competitive person. I don't compete. I don't believe in levels. I don't believe in hierarchy. I'm competing against myself. I'm not a competitor. Women are liars. Women are highly competitive. All of them. Age doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Women are highly competitive when another woman walks into the environment. And women do this thing where they probe you. Okay, I observe human nature. I know women very well, especially if you are considered threatening. Women are going to probe you when they first meet you. So the minute you walk in, a woman is comparing herself to you physically. That's a given. The minute another woman walks in the environment, women are mentally comparing, okay, does she have a better body than me? Does she have a prettier face than me? What car did she park in the parking lot? How does she walk? Is she in a relationship? Is she married? Does she have a better partner than me? Women are highly competitive. They lie about it. The only difference is they compete in low levels, meaning their competition is not going to get them anywhere because they're competing over stupid things. They don't know how to compete against the big dogs, competing against statistics, competing against breaking generational curses. That is where they slack. They don't know how to keep up with that. But they do know how to keep up with very mundane things, like competing with very stupid things, right? Like who has more friends and who's more popular. That's usually the level that they compete at, right? And we're going to talk about this in the Weaponize Your Masculinity class this Sunday at 7. When women are tapped into their masculine energy in a healthy way, you're competing with the big dogs. You're competing with systems. You're competing with stats. You're competing with ensuring that your life is balanced and your credit is perfect and your funds and your money's right and you're healthy, and you're competing at higher levels because you are fully autonomous. We're going to talk about that in the class, how when a woman weaponizes her masculinity, she's not going to be competing at that low level anymore. Now you're going to compete against the world, and it's going to require you to have resilience and strength, right? So women are always competing. Women are going to probe you when they first meet you. Women can smell when another woman is not confident in herself. And if women even get an inkling that you're that girl and you don't know, they are going to do some damage. They are going to do some damage. If you're a good example of this is what they do to Jennifer on Basketball Wives. Jennifer is she lowers herself too much around those women, right? And that's why they're always coming at her so hard. They're purposefully putting her at the bottom of the list when they know she should be at the top. Actually, Jennifer is the most successful basketball wife on that show. Jackie Christie, I believe, is the first one that has the highest net worth. And then I think Jen has a very high net worth, very high. She's very classy, well put together, well educated. But the women play her like she's Boo Boo the Fool. Why? Because they can tell that she doesn't know where she's at. She doesn't distinguish herself from them. Okay? She doesn't distinguish herself. When you don't distinguish yourself, they're going to reverse the roles. Women try to do it to me all the time. They first meet me, they don't know me that well, right? And then they start seeing if they can bully me. They start acting funny, and then when I retaliate, they're like, oh, okay, so she does know that she's that girl because I just tried to bully her and she shredded me. So I guess she knows, and she doesn't care to be my friend either. So clearly she's self-validated because I'm the one asking her questions about herself. She never asked me any questions about me. Clearly she doesn't care to be my friend, right? And then women start to add up all these things, and then they realize, oh, okay, she's separating herself. And that's what you have to do, because if you don't separate yourself, what's going to happen, just like what the woman in that video said, is when you can't see the differences between you and another person, what they're going to do is they are going to, in a way, bully you. And they are going to, in a way, make you question your value, make you question your worth, or even worse, make you feel worthless because you were unable to see the qualities that you possess. And it's very dangerous when you have qualities and you don't see them, ladies and gentlemen, and you don't know them and you're not comfortable with them. It's very dangerous because when other humans encounter you and they probe you, physically probe you and verbally, right? When they start asking you those interviewee questions, when people start probing, and humans will always probe you when you encounter them. When people start probing you and they notice that you're a big deal, but you don't know you are, they're going to flip the table on you, right? And then guess what? They're going to flip the table even more, because after they probe you and they notice that you are confident in yourself, now they're going to call you a narcissist. Now they're going to call you a sociopath. Here comes the sociopath claims, right? So you're going to, you're never going to really be able to make people 100% happy. But that's not your goal anyways. Your goal is self-preservation, right? So make sure that you can acknowledge the differences between you and others so that you can survive in this world, because it is a lion's den. It's a shark tank out here. And if you're not aware of where you stand and people are aware of where you stand, they can possibly cause you to have a negative experience, especially when you guys are going into these social spaces. I remember I went into a social space one time. I was dressed up And this woman's like, oh my God, you do your makeup. I'm like, yeah, I do. She's like, wow, that's a lot of makeup. I said, it's not, it's really not, but okay. And she's like, I can't believe you wear red lipstick. I said, really, why? She said, I could never wear red lipstick. It's so bold and it's so forward. Like, I don't understand how women do that. I feel like it draws in too much attention. I said, well, I've always had a lot of attention. So it's not the lipstick that causes that. And secondly, I don't live in fear. Imagine being afraid of putting on a tube of a substance like lipstick. If you're afraid of lipstick, ma'am, how are you going to handle the world? I told her, I said, but no, seriously, if you're too fearful to wear lipstick, if that shakes you, if that makes you weak in the knees, if wearing lipstick makes you weak in the knees, you're scared about grown women attempting to bully you, which they'll always fail. If you're scared and weak in the knees over lipstick, ma'am, you'll never be able to face your major giants, because I don't live in fear. And I could tell her body language shifted when I told her that, because she realized, oh, she's not bullyable. Oh, she knows her currency. Oh, she knows she's that girl. I can't lower her. I can't do it. She's not letting me. So if your confidence is not where it needs to be, and people will try to come at you for qualities you have that they wish they had, if your confidence is not where it needs to be, you are going to have a negative experience and you will get bullied. Okay. So don't be comfortable being the villain. Villainhood masterclass next Sunday. Be comfortable with the attacks that will come with your self-assurance. We'll talk about that in the class, and keep doing what you need to do and stand firm. You have to be willing to weaponize your masculinity as a woman. Masculinity is not bad. Masculine energy is not bad. I don't know why people keep saying that. Masculine energy is the ability to reach a goal. Masculinity is what? Goal-oriented, structurally, orderly, being able to show up on times, precision, logic, rationality. Nothing about that is bad. So with the October spooky season coming around and holiday season, make sure you guys are okay being the villain. Yes, villainhood is a real thing, and that's what this class is going to talk about. We are going to speak on the characteristic traits and approaches you have to take when you are no longer living your life to be accepted and validated by people while accepting their bad behavior. Sometimes being the protector in your book looks like being a villain in another person's book. It's all a psychological mind game. If you don't choose yourself, if you don't choose your happiness, if you are not unapologetically you and winning without feeling apologetic about it, guess what? People are going to view you as a villain. But if you already walk in villainhood, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is going to be a good class, especially in conjunction with weaponizing your masculinity. You have to get comfortable with being viewed as a villain. You need a strong mental mind to accept people villainizing you because you are being and doing your best.